Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Let me introduce my group. My name is Muhammad Admana Furqon and my friend name is Fauziah Nurul U. So today my group want to explain about language and social variation, sociolinguistics. Sociolinguistics Sociolinguistics is a multidisciplinary science that examines the problems of language use in society related to social, situational, and cultural structures. Language in sociolinguistic studies is not only seen as a structure, but is also seen as a social system, communication system, and part of the culture of a particular society. Sociolinguistics is the study of language associated with social conditions. Sociolinguistics studies language by taking into account the relationship between language and society, especially in the language-speaking community. Navaban explained that sociolinguistics is the study of language that relates to language speakers as members of society, or studies the social aspect of language related to social or social factor. Furthermore, he added that sociolinguistics examines language in a socio-cultural context, connects cultural factor, and examines social function and the use of language in society. Social dialect. Social dialect is a variety of language used by a certain group. In society we often encounter such as groups of workers, children, teachers, office workers, laborers, and so on. According to the example given, in addition to the meaning of the community group referred to in sociolinguistics, in the study of social dialect, it is a variation of the language that is present from community groups that have differences in social status, position, class, and social class by the speakers themselves. For example, China's ethnicity, which is the stick with the trading culture, mingles with indigenous people who merge with each other. The fusion of culture in the use of language can be characterized by the use of the term units of money: cepek 100, nopek 200, cejeng 1000, ceban 10,000, goban 50,000, and gopek 500. Education and occupation. The same as the general understanding, the meaning of education is education, and occupation here is meant by placement. In this context, linguistic, the meaning of education and occupation here is the determinant of how one speaks to others. If someone is less educated or may have an environment that is less educated, then it can be denied that the placement or occupation of language or style they are different from highly educated people. Talking like a book is a reflection of a person's proof whether they have minimal education or even higher education. Our occupation and socio-economic status are a reflection of how well educated we are. In the 90s, in the 60s, sociolinguist William Leboeuf combined elements from place of occupation, and socioeconomic status by looking at pronunciation difference among salespeople in 3 New York City department stores. See above 2006. They were Saks Fifth Avenue with expensive items, upper middle class status, Macy's medium price, middle class status, and Klein's with cheaper items, working class status. Leboeuf went into each of these stores, and asked salespeople specific questions, such as where are the women's shoes, in order to elicit answers with the expression fourth floor. This expression contains two opportunities for the pronunciation or not of post-vocalic R, that is, the R sound after a vowel. Strictly speaking, it is R after a vowel and before a consonant or the end of a word. In the department stores, there was a regular pattern in the answer. The higher the socioeconomic status of the store, the more R sounds were produced, and the lower the status, the fewer R sounds were produced by those who worked there. So the frequency of occurrence of this linguistic variable R could mark the speech samples as upper middle class versus middle class versus working class. Other studies confirm this regular pattern in the speech of New Yorkers, but it doesn't rule out that we can be the same as those who are highly educated and mature enough. If we have more intention and effort to achieve this, we can easily get it, because the path of education can be achieved from anywhere, not only depending on schools and other institutions. Social markers. A linguistic feature that marks the speaker as a member of a particular social group. Language feature whose use correlates with social group and speech styles. The speaker was aware of these forms and their group association, but did not comment publicly on them. The same is the case with people in certain areas who have a characteristic language or action, accent. Environmental factor where they grew up is a major factor why they have a language or accent that can be said to be different from others. For example, another social marker is called height dropping, which makes the words at and head sound the same. It occurs at the beginning of words and can result in utterance that sound like I'm so hungry, I could eat an horse. In contemporary English, this feature is associated with lower class and less education.
Speech style and style shifting. Speech style is the way we use language depending on our social settings or context. The most basic distinction in speech style is between formal and informal uses. Formal usage is when we pay careful attention to how we are speaking. Informal usage is when we pay less attention to how we are speaking. Style shifting. Variation in speech style is as pervasive as regional, social class, ethnic, and gender-based language variation. Style shifting refers to speech variation within individual speakers. There are no single style speakers, while it may vary. Everyone displays a considerable amount of style shifting in their speech. Prestige. Prestige describes the level of respect accorded to a language or dialect as compared to that of other language or dialects in a speech community. The concept of prestige in sociolinguistics is closely related to that of prestige or class within a society. Prestige is the form in which certain individuals change their speech. Overt prestige is the direction in which our speech changes in a form that is frequent in the speech of those of a higher social status or a status that is valued. Convert prestige is the another form of speech change. This heightened speech style when an individual does not change their speech form in favor of a valued speech form. For example, lower working class individuals that do not change their speech style. Speech accommodation. Speech accommodation is a way of modifying our speech style towards or away from the perceived style of the person or people we are talking to. It's also known as code switching. It is a speech style that is used to reduce social distance or convergence. In contrast, divergence is when a speech style is used to emphasize social distance between speakers. Usually, divergence is triggered when an individual wants to mark their individuality among a majority group of individuals. Register and jargon. Register is a conventional way of using language that is appropriate in a specific context, which may be identified as situational. For example, the way language is used in when writing for a newspaper versus the way language is used when writing poetry for a creative writing class. Jargon is special technical vocabulary associated with a specific area of work or interest. For example, the way the word table referenced in a math class versus the way reference the word table in everyday conversation. Slang. Slang is language of an informal register that members of particular in groups favor over the common vocabulary of standard language in order to establish group identity, exclude outsiders, or both. Usually, we will hear slang spoken more often than we will see it put in writing. Though emails and texts often contain many conversational slang words. Example: bromance, bastard, wallflower, savage, and etc. Vernacular English. African American Vernacular English, or AAVE, is the variety formerly known as Black English Vernacular or Vernacular Black English among sociolinguistics, and commonly called Ebonics outside the academic community. While some features of AAVE are apparently unique to this variety, in this structure, it also shows many commonalities with other varieties, including a number of standard and non-standard English varieties spoken in the US and the Caribbean. AAVE has been at the heart of several public debates, and the analysis of this variety has also sparked and sustained debates among sociolinguistics. So this is the end of our presentation. If you have question, please write down below. And thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.